Hey, how's everybody doing? Good. Good. Hey, you guys a little tired because first class? Hey, don't worry. Who wants to watch PowerPoint?
Me.
You do? Sure. You? Okay. Hey, you guys can watch that in your next classes. I don't do PowerPoints. I'm not first class Jordan. I run the Martinsville Army Recruiting Office, representative for your school. I'm actually leaving, how they said, New York City. That's where I'm going in 2 months. The summer students, he's going to be here. I'm going to let them introduce themselves here in a moment. I've been in the Army 11.5 years. I'm his boss. I'm not his boss. He has his own boss. But have you guys ever heard anything about me from the past being here? The last 2 years? Anybody ever said anything about me being here? Ever seen me here? I'm usually all over the place because I have 5 different schools. You see me? Okay. I'm all over the place. I got 5 different schools I have to go to. So I have to go to his schools, the other guy's schools. I'm all over the place all the time. I have a conversation, all right? If you guys think I'm going to sit here and just tell you a bunch of stuff that you guys probably don't even care about, we're going to talk. I want to answer you guys questions because if I just sit here and tell you guys a bunch of stuff you don't care about, how am I helping you? Or how am I showing you how the Army or the Marines can help you guys and show you what the different benefits are, right? So I want you guys to ask me questions. If you guys think, hey, I'm going to just hide out and sit over here, hope he doesn't see me, I'm just not going to raise my hand, yeah, you guys got me mistaken because I'll start calling you guys out. You guys got name badges this time, so I can call you by name. I don't have to say, hey, you. But hey, we're just having a conversation, all right? I'm going to show you all the benefits that the Army has to offer. It's just and he'll show you all the benefits the Marines have to offer. They're both going to introduce themselves here in a second. But we're just showing you all your options. You guys are all seniors, right? Yeah. About to start your adventure, last school year, right? Hey, you guys know 23 years ago, I just graduated high school. So when this all happened, I was sitting at work when 9/11 happened. So this is kind of a little weird doing a presentation on 9/11 of all days. But I'm going to tell you that day, everything shut down in the United States. I can tell you that. I was at work and they said, everybody go home. They closed the mall, everything on that day. So everybody went home and I was in Arizona. So that's on the other side of the United States and we got sent home. So, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's answer you guys' questions. Ask me questions. I know you guys all, Ms. Dean's class, you guys all like looked up stuff and questions to ask us and different research stuff, right?
They all did.
You guys all did too? Okay, perfect. Ask me questions. You know, the only way I can't read your minds. So, ask me questions. The only way I can answer your questions you guys ask. All right? Sorry, Simmons?
Hey, how y'all doing? I'm Staff Sergeant Simmons. I'm originally from Virginia. This is my first time in Franklin County. I have some family up here. One of them still goes to the school. Hopefully I'll see them today. Other than that, ask me any question you can. I'll be the one that's mainly in your school for the next, 3 years? We got me stuck here for about 3 years, so which is going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. Don't be afraid to come up and talk to me after this, even weeks coming on as the school year progresses.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Staff Sergeant Ryland. I've been in for coming up on 9.5 years now. Right before recruiting duty, I was an instructor, taught lieutenants for about 2.5 years, and before that, I was at 1st Combat Engineer Battalion, which is my main MOS besides recruiter. What does that mean to you? I blow things up for a living. So when I get done with this next year, I'm heading back out to the fleet and be able to go on more deployments, hopefully. Been married, I have a kid and another on the way, so they're the joy of my life. But I'm here to answer any questions about the Marine Corps. I know I've talked to a few of you guys, probably talked on the phone, some in person. See one back there that I've actually talked in person. But if you have any questions about the Marine Corps, let's have a conversation about it. This is more of a discussion like Sergeant First Class Jordan talked about earlier. So let's kick it off.
Oh, all right. You guys did?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, for the first thing I like to do always when we start this up, we got these. You got the Marines over here on the right. You got the Army on the left. A couple screens. We can go on to different topics that you guys want. But when you guys hear military in general, you hear the Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, Space Force, Coast Guard.
I don't think they're right.
Hey, there's always a bunch of new stuff, right? Hey, when you guys think of military, though, what's the first thing that pops in your guys' mind? Anybody? What do you think of? You just closest to me, so that's why you get picked out. Hardworking? Okay.
True.
True. What about you?
Okay. Being deployed.
Huh?
Being deployed.
Being deployed?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think? Combat? Okay. Man, you got your name tag right up front. You know you're gonna be asked.
I was gonna say combat.
Combat as well?
Guns and war.
Guns and war. What do you think, Jeff?
Think of dedication.
Dedication? I have no clue how to say your name. How do you say your name?
Nasira.
Nasira? What do you think of?
That's what I was gonna say, war.
War? All right. I mean, yeah. I mean, we're military. Our job is to do what? Protect the United States, right? And protect our allies. So we know you have different places. Yeah, there's wars, but when you guys are born, and everything, you guys are born into a war. That's a 23-year-old war, right? So that's all you guys ever heard of. What war are we in right now?
War on terror.
War on terror? But is the United States actively engaged in any war at the moment?
No.
We're not. So there is no war, right? So you can't. If a war, I can't say a war's not going to happen tomorrow. I don't know. Nobody really knows what's going to happen, right? But there is right now we're not engaged in any war. All right. Guns. I mean, who said guns? Guns. We're going to have guns. I mean, how else are you going to protect your country if you can't protect your country, right?
What particular about guns, like, are you trying to get at, or are you just saying that's what you think of the military in general?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe different advancements from what we had before, because what you guys have all Instagram and Facebook and things like that. What is some of the other countries using right now besides guns?
Man, drones.
Yeah, drones and
There you go.
Yep.
I got you.
missiles and stuff.
Hey, we got technology, right? What's the world now? What are you guys all being taught, right? Computers, technology. You guys are basically born now with a freaking phone or computer in your hands, right? So that's what everybody works off of. So what do you think the world's going into? Technology. You guys look at Russia and Ukraine, right? They're in the war. How are they fighting their war right now? Anybody know? Anybody watch the news?
Drones.
Drones. They're going in there and they're attacking with drones. Ain't nobody on the ground fighting anymore. That's like not reality. We're gonna turn to like what's that game everybody plays?
Battlefield,
Battlefield,
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, all that stuff, man. The world's really turning into that because that's really it's gonna be like a computer war for now. That's
Not the
all we
old
can
school
take.
Call of Duty, the
Like
new
who
stuff
won?
that's
Who beat
popular
who on the
world.
computer game? That's what it's turning into, right?
Yeah.
But hey, so you got that combat. I mean, yeah, you got combat. He's infantry. He's combat engineer. Man, I was chemical, but I didn't do anything chemical over in my career. We ain't gonna talk about the stuff I did, but combat is combat. I can tell you, I probably did more combat than either one of these guys throughout my time.
For the guys that said deployments, what do you know about deployments?
No.
You just think deployments in general?
Yeah.
What do you think of when you think about the word deployment?
Sending somewhere
Just send
far
somewhere.
away.
Far, far away? What about the southern tip of Australia? You think that's a deployment?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty far.
It's pretty far. I'm telling you, it was a fun deployment. What about Korea? You think that's a deployment?
Yeah.
Everybody has a good time in Korea.
Oh yeah, I was on the DMZ
I did.
for 50 days. So right next to North Korea. That was a fun deployment. Deployments are not all combat or anything like that, what you guys probably think about. Deployments could be just quick reactions, could be humanitarian. Deployments are a wide range of different things. For the Marine Corps and Army, they have different types of deployments. For us, for the Marines, we're always forward deployed. Different units are forward deployed constantly. They're called MUs, Marine Expedition Units. We're always floating around, we're always forward deployed. Army's a little bit different on how they set up their deployments and stuff. You can probably talk about that.
So, whenever the Army goes in, we're an occupational force, so we like to go up and set up shop. So, about 2 years ago, I was in Poland, so I got paid a bunch of money to go chill over in Poland, and every weekend we went out and drank Town Drive. We were hanging out, hanging with the locals. Then we also got the opportunity to go to Lithuania, and the MWR, which is a welfare thing that actually comes in and helps troops out and builds morale and keeps everyone's spirits high, right? Away from your family and states, right? They actually gave us the opportunity to go over to Oktoberfest, which was the first Oktoberfest, full-blown one since COVID. So I didn't go. I stayed back because everyone was going to that, so I had the whole time to myself, with 5 other legs. but we actually had the opportunity to do that. So I got to go over to Europe for 6 months, get paid, and hang out. A little bit of training here and there.
And the cool thing is you get to meet people from different countries from around the world. When I was in Australia, I worked with the Kiwis, which is New Zealand, the Australians, Japanese, and then we also got to work with the British. Every single deployment that I've been on, I've got to work with every single branch to some extent. I don't know about like if you guys got to work with Marines or like Air Force or anything, but like every deployment that I've been on, MEUs are very interesting in that aspect. Is we have different parts of different like from different branches come work with us. We get to work with different branches from around the world and different countries from around the world. I got to hang out with and learn different operations and different tactics with how other countries that we're allies with and how they got to do different type of missions. It was awesome, especially at 21, 22 years old, learning all this experience from these people a lot older than me at the time, because different countries, they have their like military is more like a contract that's like a lot longer. It's like a career that is set in stone at an early age. So I got to work with these and get a lot of experience from these older gentlemen and women at a young age to like help me out in my career in the Marines. So it's a great way to like explore yourself and actually see what else is out there. Like who's left Virginia? Like besides Tennessee, North Carolina, and like I guess the surrounding like 5 states. Who's actually left outside of this area? Have you guys been to a different country before? Who's been to a different country? Where'd you go? Both of you. I don't hear.
Canada.
Canada? Okay, that's literally my home state.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
The Dominican Republic,
Okay.
Okay.
South America.
South America.
Okay, that's a continent, but where out? What? Huh? Oh, okay, my bad. I mean like what country?
You love your girlfriend?
I went through the MI.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Was it fun?
So that's one of the things is like, if you haven't been out of like this area, you get to explore. Like I'm from northern Minnesota. Being able to explore and see what else is out there and get away from your actual nest, you get to develop as an individual, especially at a young age, coming right out of high school. So just think about that. If you want to actually like set yourself up and maybe see what else is out there, military is a great option for you guys to actually just see what the world actually has to offer. You get different perspectives of what other people think and do. So, what else did we?
I can tell you on deployment-wise, I was in the most deployable unit in the entire Army. All right, I was with the Special Forces before, so I was direct support. I played everything with the Green Berets. I was supposed to go be a Green Beret, and the Army said, no, you're going to be a recruiter. So when we talk about deployment, all that, I'm going to tip over the table. Don't worry about it. His energy drink will flip, and he'll like lose his mind.
Already finished it. What are you talking about?
Oh, never mind. Hey, I was in the most deployable things. That's why I said I seen more combat than both these guys. We were constantly 30. Hey, I was always get ready to go at all times. You get a phone call, you're leaving. That's the unit that I was in. But now I'm going to be a recruiter. So my deployment is come and talk to you guys. So you guys don't give me a combat badge. Don't shoot me. I promise. I'm just here to help. But hey, you know the biggest thing when we talk about those options, you guys can see that the majority part of things that you guys think about when you think about military, a lot of it's not even reality anymore, right? So, you know, times have changed. Even for the Marine Corps, they're known for combat, right? The biggest thing that Marines are known for is be the first out there, front of the line, right? They've changed. They're more about technology and everything now.
We do more technology, and we've our change for the last probably since I've been in. Since 2015, they've changed the Marine Corps tactics from going from desert warfare to more small unit type of like kind of special forces, but not really. Just how we change our tactics and more reconnaissance and infiltration instead of like large scale operations. And with that is the technology that has came about and how warfare has changed over the last 10, 12 years, I would say, is what it's really changed to. But the Marine Corps has changed a lot from that first to fight. We still are that. We're an offensive force. Like they are an occupational force. We're an offensive force. We're meant to go in, just destroy that objective, get in that objective, and allow the Navy, the Army, the Air Force actually hold that objective. Also, we're there to actually penetrate and get in, and actually at least get a foothold for them to establish bases and things like that. But yes, the Marine Corps has changed a lot. The Army has changed a lot. The Air Force has changed. The Navy has changed a lot over the last probably 10 years or so. And if the military is like way back, like never even thought about it, just hear us out, come in, talk to us, like just get a general idea of what we actually have to offer and see, because there's so many jobs out there. Like, how many jobs do you guys offer right now? 150, 160 or something like that?
It's about 215 now.
There's over 350 jobs in the Marine Corps. Only 15 of those are combat jobs. So if you think the Marine Corps is just combat, you're completely wrong. There's so many other jobs out there. We need maintainers, we need our admin, we need our supply guys, we need our chefs. Like, we need all those to actually get myself or the infantry to actually do our job properly. There's a job for everybody in the military that's like not combat related. If you want to chill in the rear and be able to still get all the benefits and get back what Uncle Sam was taking from us, like do it. Like there's other things out there that aren't just frontline stuff that you can still reap the benefits of the military for.
Hey, what'd you do to your hand, man? What'd you do to your hand?
Working, doing what? Myself.
You know what happens when you punch things and break your hand? You get no knuckles, man. It's not fun. Hey, so let's moving on. All right, let's start talking about benefits. All right. So when you guys, who thinks that the Air Force gives you more benefits than the Army or Marines? Who thinks the Navy does? You think the other branches give you more benefits? Hey, if somebody told you that, they lie to you, because guess what? It doesn't matter which military branch you decide you want to join. You're going to get the exact same benefits no matter what. You're going to get the same college. You're going to get the same medical. You're going to get the same housing. Everything, the pay, everything is exactly the same across all branches. So if somebody tells you, hey, if you come over and talk to me over at the Army, check it out, man. I'm going to give you better benefits. I'm going to give you better college and all that. I'm lying to you, man. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. Hey, so let's talk about who wants to go to college here. Show of hands. All right, cool. Hey, he's got a big group who wants to go to college. Sometimes I get only a couple. We're in the beginning of school year. You guys are all seniors, right? Who started looking at colleges?
Who's applied for scholarships already?
All right. Hey, this is a lot better than the last years that I came in here. I said, who wants to go to college? And who started looking? And all the hands went like this. So yeah, you guys are doing a much better job, because I'm gonna tell you, colleges fill up quick. You might think, hey, I'm gonna go in fall, but if you haven't started applying yet, sometimes there's a chance that you may not go to that college you want to go to because they're completely full. They don't have room for you. That's the only reason. All right. We have a contract now with Ferrum where we're at Ferrum College. Is it Ferrum College?
Yeah.
So at Ferrum, the biggest thing we're right there with the counselors. They talk to us and they said the biggest issue they have is people come and they want to drop out because they can't pay for school. Who wants to go to college for free? Only part of you guys want to go to college for free? Who wants to pay for college?
Who wants to go to trade school for free?
Yeah. Because, hey, with the military, you guys know the military, if you join the military, it doesn't matter if it's Marines, Army, Air Force, whatever it may be. If it's reserves, active duty, anything, your college is 100% free, right? We're going to pay 100% for all your college. Who would like that? Hands go up now, right? So, what college you plan on going to?
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech? Okay. What about you?
Virginia Western.
Same? Okay. You guys just gonna hang out together your whole life, huh? All right. What about you? Where are you going?
I don't know.
Still trying to figure it out? Okay. What about you?
Virginia Western.
Virginia Western? Where?
Western.
Okay. I mean, everyone wants to go to Western Virginia Tech, huh? What about you? Where are you going?
Wesleyan University.
Western. What about you, Jesse? He's like, darn, I got called out.
Probably Western.
Okay. Is there a reason everyone wants to go to Virginia Tech or Western?
It's a free program in the state.
Well, there's a lot of people what?
Virginia Tech has top 5 engineering in the country, and they're top in the state. So
Okay. What was the reason?
They go to trade school.
Trade school? Okay. I mean, it's a good reason. Everybody has a reason why they want to go some places. Now, the other question, how you guys gonna pay for that school? How are you going to get school paid for?
CPAP.
Huh?
CPAP.
Okay.
CPAP? Okay. What else?
scholarships.
Scholarships? Huh? Loans? Okay.
Let me add
Um,
one thing.
Yeah.
So you get your 4-year degree, right? And somehow you pay for it, maybe you have to pay a little bit up front. What's the percentage of people actually utilizing that degree to actually the job that they're trying to go in for?
Less than 20%.
Less
It's low.
money?
It's low.
Try 7%.
Of what?
People actually utilizing that degree to a specific job field that they went into. Majority of people that go for a 4-year degree change their major about 2 to 3 times. People, and also school, how it is set up now, is it's pipeline. Get you through, you get through high school, teachers care about you. I'm telling you right now, this is the only time that teachers actually care about you. Once you get to college, it's cutthroat. They do not care if you pass or fail. Because the first semester, majority of people drop out. It's around, some of the community college around here is around 69 to 89% of people drop out in the first semester. I'm giving you a reality check. You might think you are prepared and want to go to school, next finish school, but do you actually have the intention to finish school? Actually have that intention to, and carry it out all the way through 2 years or 4 years?
All right, who's actually wants to go to school because they want to, and who's going to school because your parents want you to go or your teachers like that? Raise your hand if you want to go. If you're planning on going to college because you want to go to college. All right, good. Now, who wants to go to college just because your teachers or your parents and everybody told you that's what you got to do? So.
I never told you that.
Uh,
I did not tell you that.
Not teachers.
Your teachers are fantastic here, and I hear
Yes.
a lot of times that a lot of people say, oh, my teachers tell me, I've been ground up, my teachers always tell me I have to go, or my parents tell me I have to go. Perfect example, you're going because your parents or your teachers? Parents. All right. You want to know what happens to every single kid I ever talk to that says, I'm going to college because my parents tell me I have to go? They drop out after the first semester. Or they just stop going after the first week because they're like, man, screw this.
Or they realize on how
I did
much
12
they
years
have,
of college.
how much debt that they already have within that first semester. That's a big problem too.
So a lot of people go, say they're gonna go to college. I'm gonna tell you, I was one of them. I was 18. I was like, yeah, man, I'm going to college. I'm graduating high school. I got a full ride scholarship for track. I'm going to college. Man, I walked in the doors. They started telling me to do all this schoolwork, and I'm like, man, I did this for 12 years. Screw this, and I walked out. Never showed back up. And then 12 years later, I decided, hey, man, I'm gonna join the Army after I was married with kids. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna start over. I have my own business, sold my business, joined the Army. What's up?
What'd you get into, like, after you dropped out?
After I dropped out,
Yeah.
opened my own business. So I started running my own business for 12 years. And if you guys think that money, who thinks money brings happiness? Raise your hand if you think money brings happiness. Man, somebody lied to you guys. I'm gonna tell you this. I made a lot of money before I joined the military. Lots of money. I owned my own business for 12 years. I didn't even sell the business. I gave it away because I didn't want to deal with it anymore. That's how much stress money brings. If you guys think money brings happiness, man, look at every single celebrity you guys can think of that has tons of money and tell me how they're happy. Anybody tell me one. Name one celebrity that's happy with their life, that's not stressed out of their mind.
All of them.
Who?
Frank Ocean.
Is he really happy though?
Yes.
One. Okay. But hey, I'm gonna tell you, money doesn't bring happiness. I'm gonna tell you what money really brings when you guys make a lot of money. 99% of the time it brings out more stress because guess what? You make some money, hey man, can I get a loan? Every single family member, that's what they're asking me for. So now you're fighting off your family, right? Then you have every single person trying to ask you for something. Or you gotta take care of people because guess what? When you start making money and run a business, what are you responsible for?
Employees.
Every single employee that works there, right? So now you're still dealing with all their problems, right? Because you gotta keep them happy. So when you're working, I'm gonna tell you my hours I worked. I worked Monday through Saturday when I'm in my business. I started at 5 in the morning and I didn't get off until 1 in the morning. Monday through Saturday. Only day I took off was Sunday. And I had 3 kids and I was married. You guys think I was happy with that? Yeah, I was making freaking almost $1 million a year. You think I was happy? I never saw my family. I never slept. So what happiness did I have? I'm gonna tell you, when I walked away from business, my buddy said, hey, I want my own business. I'm like, hey man, sign here, business is yours. I'm leaving for the Army, bro. That was the best decision I've ever made in my life. I was 30 years old. Best decision I've ever made in my life. And now I'm happy to do it. I love what I do now. So, and did I take a pay cut? Absolutely. But I'm happy with what I do. I have a career now. I don't just have a job. You had a question up here.
I know, I just want to say, like, stressing about people is a lot better than stressing about, like, losing your house or not. I just want to say that. Like, that's where I'm coming from when I say the money buys happiness. Like, it doesn't buy happiness, but it takes away a lot more stress.
Okay,
Exactly.
What about knowing that you're financially secured and knowing where your next paycheck's gonna be constantly? And knowing that your family's gonna be taken care of? Who actually wants a family in here? Who wants to have kids or who wants to have everything? Okay, how much does a birth cost, do you think? Just out of curiosity, okay. Who has, actually, let me start this off. Who has a significant other in here, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever? Cool. Okay, yes, the one that's wearing it on his sweatshirt. I'm telling you right now, me and my wife have been together since junior year of high school. Been through a lot together. One kid on the way. She had an emergency C-section for my first child. That bill would have cost over $30,000. And guess what? On how much I paid for that? $0. The benefits that you get for your family members in having this is, like, that was one of my main pushes of actually staying in the Marine Corps. I was thinking about getting out, pursuing my field of going game warden. I decided not to because of how much the Marine Corps, how much the DoD actually helps out its service members. Especially now. Things have changed. Actually, teachers, do you guys get paid paternity leave? No. Women in the Marine Corps or in the DoD get 4 months paid vacation for having a child. Men get 3 months paid vacation. Do you think any job out there that actually pays their workers actually to have kids? No? I'm telling you that right now, no. Or another example, my son had to go to the ER a couple weeks back. Got the bill, $3,800. Paid $0. My wife is a type 1 diabetic. She has insulin, she has other medical stuff. We pay a small copay compared to what the average civilian actually pays for insulin and for some of her medical stuff. She gets a brand new pump that would cost $10,000 for free. It's stuff like this that people don't think about, health-wise, education-wise, financial security-wise. I just got promoted this past July. My pay increase was very significant. I can't wait till I hit my 10-year mark, because after your first 4 years, every 2 years, you get a pay increase, a bigger pay increase. My 10-year mark, I will be bringing in I'm not going to say what amount, but I'm going to be bringing a good chunk of change. And I'll be able to save up for the car I want, for the house I want when I retire. Because guess what? At 20 years, I get to retire at 38 years old. What business allows you to actually retire at 38? Not many. And I'm telling you right now, my wife is a teacher at Boone's Mill. Teachers don't bring in that much money right now. So I'm the main supporter for my family. And I take that to heart to make sure that I do my job well so that I can take care of my family. You guys have to think about this. I know it's the beginning of your senior year, but you have to look forward of what you actually want to do, like financially, because this economy sucks, does it not?
Yeah.
Yes, everybody's head should be shaking up and down. But I graduated in 2015. It has changed drastically in the last 9-10 years that I got out of high school. Stuff has changed so much and got to grow so much in my early 20s. Especially with a family, especially with my job, my career, how I am now compared to when I was in high school. The Marine Corps has helped me out. I know the Army has helped out. Most of my family's actually Army. They keep on giving me crap about it. So I'm the black sheep of the family.
How do you think I feel? I went Coast Guard in a family full of Army.
I didn't even recognize you with your beard.
Yeah. It's gonna come off soon.
But think about that. That's the things that you have to think about is look for the future. You can't just look at now, present time. You have to look towards the future. You have to have those conversations with your significant other. You have to have those conversations with your family members, your teachers. Get that advice. Take it in. Like, piece it down. Where do you want to go in your life? How am I going to actually set myself up for the future? Because if you don't, you're just going to be set up for failure. Then you're going to be stuck. And then you're just trying to figure, like, you have to do catch up constantly.
I have to tell you, so when it comes down to that, right? I have 3 kids. All my kids are grown. My son, he stayed in Colorado. He's a skydive instructor. He's going to college. He's going to college for free because I gave him my GI Bill, so he's going to college for free for mechanic school. And he's a skydive instructor. He's 21 years old with over 500 jumps. Jumping out of planes, all right? His first skydive, I took him when he turned 18. I said, let's go, man. He said, you want to do this? Let's go do what I do. And I thought the kid would never go back because the chute didn't open up. But, hey, that's when I found out the reserves actually work. But, hey, I'm like, man, this kid's never going to, I freaked my wife out, by the way. But I'm like, man, my son's never going back. He's never going to skydive again. I moved up here to Virginia from Colorado. He called me up. He goes, hey, Dad, what's up? I'm like, what's up, kid? He's like, man, I start skydiving school tomorrow. I'm like, hey, you're going back skydiving school? He goes, yeah. I'm like, all right, go do you, boo. But hey, he went and did that, and he got over 500 jumps now. That kid's he gets paid to skydive now. He jumps for free. But he's getting his degree as a mechanic right now. Thanks to me, he gets to go to college for free. So you guys get his degree in mechanic, and he called me and said, hey, I want to join the Golden Knights. You guys know the Golden Knights is the elite competition skydiving team for the Army, right? So that's my son. He's gonna finish his degree with mechanics, and he's already got accepted to the Golden Knights. So now he's gonna join the Army to go compete around the world. That's gonna be his job. And he'll be here like 3 weeks for Bridge Day up in West Virginia, jumping off the bridge up there. They do once a year. The kid's crazy. I thought I was crazy. My son's crazier than me. But my daughters, they both graduate from Bassett High School. One, she's like, hey, I'm gonna go be a real estate agent. This is what I'm gonna go do. She goes, I got it figured out. I'm like, all right, bet, go do it. 3 months after she graduated high school, she calls me up and says, hey, you in your office? I'm like, yeah, what's up? She's like, hey, I'm gonna come by. I'm like, cool, you bring me lunch? She's like, nah, I wanna take the ASVAB, I wanna join the Army. I'm like, wait, what? I never thought my daughter ever in her life would ever want to join the Army, but she saw everything the Army's done for me, and she wanted that. So now that she completed the Army, she already got promoted 3 times. She's an E4, and she came in as a fuzzy, nothing, E1, everything, started with the lowest rank you possibly get. By the time she completed basic training, she was already E4. And she was a very much girly girl, very, very girly girl. And she excelled big time. Is that funny? You like that? Okay.
I just thought it was funny, so she was putting lip gloss on.
Hey, that was the perfect timing. But yeah, so she was a girly girl. She excelled. She's out doing like guys, everything. I was like, wow, I did not expect that from my daughter, but she's doing fantastic. My youngest, she graduated a whole year early because she's like, hey, I'm gonna graduate because she knows I'm leaving. I'm leaving in the next 2 months. And she's like, I don't want to be here still at school when you guys move on. It forced my wife to stay here 1 more year or start school in New York. So she's like, hey, I'm gonna graduate a year early. She did it. She graduated a year early. 2 weeks after she graduated high school, she left for basic training too. 17 years old, started her own career. And they're both doing fantastic things now. They're both going to college. And speaking of officers, right? You got enlisted, you got warrant officer, and then you got officers, right? Officers make a lot more money than us. I'm gonna tell you that. But officer-wise, you're doing a lot of the planning, the paperwork, things like that. Us, the officers tell us what to do, and we're like, all right, we'll make it happen. And then you got warrant officers, which are your subject matter experts. They're the ones that specialize in that specific job, is the way that it really works. But in order to become an officer, you need college. You have to at least get a bachelor's degree in college in order to become an officer. And they have a luxury life. Your family members are officers, right?
Yep. I have three family members that are officers in the Army. Like I said, they keep on giving me crap about switching over and whatnot, but I'm too prideful to stay in the Marine Corps at this point. But I have one that's a major, and then 2 that are first lieutenants, and they're both looking at captain right now, which is 03. And the officer route is a good way to go. Like, you could go reserves, go NRTC or ROTC, go through that program while you're enlisted, and then eventually go in for officer. There's a bunch of different ways, from like the green to gold, or MISA, how we call it in the Marine Corps. Like, if you go enlisted first, gain that time on the grounds, get that enlisted perspective to then go officer route. There's different ways to go for officer, which is a great way to. Do you have a question, Ms. Steams?
Yeah, I just want to comment, if you're not very school or academically oriented, you might want to address that about.
Oh yeah. If like she said, if you're not really school or academically oriented, stay enlisted. It's more fun. It's like our own little mafia, quote unquote. But officers is a good way if you want to be that big leader, if you want to be that like person in charge, if you want to be more of like the subject matter expert, being in that field. Enlisted is a great way, at least start off that career and then see where that progresses into it. Like I know for a fact, like I was on track for college, but wasn't out for me right away, and then I stayed enlisted, and it's been a lot more fun.
Who else
this
at
way.
Virginia Tech? Where do you want to go? 3? I thought there was a lot more at Virginia Tech. Oh, you guys said, what was the other one?
I live Western.
Western. So, both those schools, I believe, have ROTCs. So if you decide, hey, you want to become an officer, there's an option that you can do, and I've helped out 6 people now that joined the reserves. 6 joined the reserves. They went to one of these colleges. Well, they actually all went to UVA Wise because they wanted the engineering. That's what they wanted. UVA Wise has that. They're connected to Virginia Tech, I believe. So somewhat, but they have the reserve units right there. So basically what they do is they join as, for reserves, they have all their college paid for from the Army, and then they get the ROTC scholarship, which gives an additional money on top of it, and you automatically get promoted D5. Okay. So you gave yourself 4 promotions just because you're going to ROTC, and then 4 years after that, you get your degree, and guess what? You're commissioned as an officer. And they say, hey, where do you want to go? That's basically how it works, all right? So, if you want to be an officer, definitely, I know you've probably clearly been looking into it. You haven't? Man, you know a lot of information about it.
I just have a big military family.
Oh, makes sense. Hey, officers are great, all right? College is great. If you don't want to go to college, man, go get yourself a skill, a trade, something, all right? Because school, I'm going to tell you, when you turn 18 and school's over, who already pays all the bills for the house? Okay, I've had a lot of times where students are the ones that are helping out with the family, paying a lot of bills, all right?
Who would like an extra stipend or an extra like check to pay for your mortgage? All of your hands should be risen right now. That's not taken out of your basic paycheck. Because if you live off base, the DOD pays you basic housing allowance depending on your zip code. If you're in a more expensive zip code compared to like a more smaller zip code like around here, you get paid a certain stipend for your mortgage and for your housing, for like electrical, for water, gas, things like that. When I was in Quantico, when I was an instructor up there, it started off at $1,900 extra in my pocket for housing. If my mortgage was only $1,400, where's that other $500 going? In my pocket. I can spend on whatever I want, or maybe save up. Now it's $2,600 up in Quantico. So just think about that. No other place is actually going to be paying you these extra benefits compared to like, I don't know, some other jobs or trade jobs or things like that.
Hey, before we continue on, because you guys are running out, we're gonna run out of time. They get out of class what time?
10. We're good.
Oh, we
You
have
got
plenty of time, never mind.
But yes, if you have a guidance appointment, you're good, because we're gonna get that swapped out for you.
Yeah.
However, if you have a picture appointment, you're free to do that, of course.
Yeah.
We've already talked to counselors and such.
I want
Anybody have to go do any of that?
Well, a couple of them do, but they know to go. We've already.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're good.
to open up the floor to like some questions of what we talked about, or what.
Well, I want to do this. You guys have all written down questions, right? Between either the Marines and the Army, right? Questions you guys have.
They got to choose between one or the other.
So I want you guys to start asking questions. If you guys wrote down a question, you guys chose the Marines, hey, ask the Marines about the questions they may have, all right? If you have questions about the Army, write down those questions, all right? So we can answer those questions for you. Like I said, I don't want to sit up here and talk all day. I'd rather you guys get information for yourselves. So let's just start. I'm going to just start. If somebody raises their hand,
Where
I'm
are
going
these
to start picking
questions written
somebody.
down at?
They put them in their document that they submit, but they should know at least 1 or 2 of the questions
They had
that
to
they
like
said.
so they
Okay.
should remember one of the.
They should remember
I'm
1
going
or
to just
3.
start in the corner. Yeah, you're number 1, man.
Great job. You got it.
He's like, ah, great. But you got a question for him.
Jeopardy is just playing in my head right now.
Oh, yeah.
Will I come back to you? What do? You play sports? You don't play? Why not? Man, you need to start playing sports, get ready to that field.
Send it.
Alright, so I have a question for all of y'all.
Okay.
What's like the craziest thing y'all like saw or like experienced?
I can't speak of it.
Craziest thing we've done what on?
That's terrifying.
Crazy experience?
I can't speak of. I can give you a fun experience.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a fun experience because I can't talk about some of the things that I do. The fun experience is we got to rappel from a helicopter on an aircraft carrier while the aircraft carrier was moving. So you're in the middle of the ocean, you see land nowhere, and you are literally rappelling from an Osprey down onto a flight deck to do to practice raids and to practice operations. But I also do part of my job. I would say it's pretty crazy that most people don't have the guts to do it. I look for bombs for a living. So I'm out there up front looking for IEDs, looking for mines, looking for things like that. I deal with explosives literally for the first almost 6 years of my career, except for recruiting duty. So that's what I do. You want to talk about a crazy job and a very high stress job? Combat engineer is where it's at. That's a pretty crazy thing.
What about you?
Funniest thing?
Funnest.
Craziest thing?
Funniest, oh, I got a list, but
Probably the funniest thing I did was knock myself out on the live fire range. I tripped and fell because you're wearing MVGs, so you can see how it's like this big. It's all green. I tripped and fell in the hole. The guy that was running beside me sprained his wrist. It knocked me clean out. The only thing I remember is my PO going, is he dead? I got up, ran, jumped into a trench, and they just were like, what? Cussing, so I can't come up with cuss, but they were like, what just happened? So knocking myself down on a live fire range has got to be up there in everyone's reaction.
there's a lot of fun things that happen in the military. Like at the time, you might think that it's like, it sucks, but in actuality, when you look back at it, they were probably some of the funnest times that I ever had. Being a junior Marine, and I know like working with the Army too, like being a junior soldier, junior Marine, you will experience some funniest and fun times that you will look back on, that you'll be able to talk on to your kids and your friends when you get back home and be like, it was a great time. Yeah, it sucked or whatever at this time, but I look back at it and it was a great time. Like, I'm glad that I had my deployment cameras when I did to take photos and be able to record conversation, be able to like have that technology compared to what it used to be, to record those memories to have, because you're not going to have those memories forever, but you're going to look back on those photos and be able to reflect on them. And that's probably been the best part, is having those memories.
Has anybody been to Hawaii in here? Hawaii, yeah? Anybody else? No? Would you like to go to Hawaii? Anybody? Yeah? I lived there for 3 years. The Army put me there. So,
And the Marines.
and well, there's plenty of Army, Air Force, Marines, Navy, all things. However, they literally sent me there. I stayed there for 3 years. I was 15 minutes outside of Waikiki. Guess what I got to do whenever I wanted to?
Scuba dive, snorkel.
All those things. And I didn't, that was my first jump. But still, the point is, like, you can do whatever you want. If you're single, don't have kids, you have fun. Don't have the other. Yeah.
2 soldiers that are my last unit of PCS in there as we speak right now.
And they shipped my car, shipped my stuff, and then when I got out, they shipped it all to Boonesville, Virginia.
What other
So
questions?
for me, I went over, we had a 500-man infantry team that said that our commander, that we could, my 4-man team, couldn't go take their commander captive. So we went in the middle of the night and we went through their entire post without even being seen, hogtied their battalion commander and dragged them through their post without even being caught. I don't know how we didn't get caught because we walked right by all of their people. And took them all the way back, and then he went back and chewed out his entire 500-man team because a 4-man team went in, dragged him 3 miles. It was pretty fun. He wasn't happy. We had a great time though. What other questions we got?
What are the requirements to become, requirements to become an officer in either the Marines or the Army?
4-year bachelor's degree, and then you have to go through the officer selection officer. So it, for both branches that I know of, from at least working with my family members and like teaching officers, you have to go through the selection process and make sure that you have a 4-year degree. If you don't have a 4-year degree, there's programs to at least go through the process, to at least start it, but you still have to be looked at by an officer selection officer first.
So you have to have you have to have a bachelor's degree. For the Army, we do our selection process as a board. You just answer a bunch of questions about why you want to become an officer.
Yes.
You can start the process when you start your, after you complete 3 years of college. and you can get it selected and finish your last year of college as long as you just sign your contract saying that I'm gonna finish college.
Do they still have
That's all
green
it is.
gold?
Yeah.
Sorry?
They still have green gold too?
Yeah.
Yep.
There's also a thing called PLC or Platoon Leadership Course, where between your sophomore and junior year, you go to OCS for 2 weeks, for 8 weeks, and then between your junior and senior, you go there for another 8 weeks. And it's saying that you're already going through the process for an officer, but you're still working on your degree during that time. So there's multiple different ways to become an officer. It's just what path that is good for you at that point. Do you have to wait, or are you actively trying to pursue becoming an officer? And then there's these different processes to actually go through.
Answer your question?
Yep.
All right. What else we got? Which one wants to go first?
What's the difference between Marine and Army boot camp, and what are drill instructors really like?
So Marine boot camp, it's 13 weeks, but in actuality, if you look at it, it's only about 11 and a half weeks. The reason I say that because the first week is like administrative, like getting you checked in, and the last week is all testing. So like you're literally just testing out on like your like the Crucible, which is the final event that you do, final drill, and just other like knowledge tests that you have to do. That's like the last like week, and then the week after that, Marine week, that's when you're cleaning up your berthing, or not your berthing, that's a ship. Your squad bay, you're cleaning up and getting ready for that next transition, and then you're also having family day, which is your family gets to come see you for a day, and then the next day is graduation. So the last 2 weeks are really just like kind of more administrative type stuff, and then the first week is kind of more administrative. But you have swim qual, you have rifle qual, you do drill. We focus a lot on drill. I mean I could like.
So for us, we do 10 weeks. We don't do 13 weeks, all right? The difference between us and the Marines is our 10 weeks, and we do all the exact same training as them. The only difference is they do swimming. We don't do swimming. You know why they do swimming? Because you're owned by who?
The Navy, which is funny because
That's the only reason.
The Navy doesn't even have a swim qual.
They do it only because of that one thing.
I
That's the
don't-
only reason they do swimming. For us, we do 10 weeks, and we complete all of our training. You basically you train all the way to the end. The last week is when you're doing your graduation stuff. So that 10 weeks, that first week you're in processing, same thing. Then your drill sergeants pick you up. Drill sergeants, yeah, they yell. But I'm gonna tell you, you guys know how drill sergeants train? Anybody? So drill sergeants, when they go through drill sergeant school, you know how they learn how to yell is they get told, hey, you see that tree right there? You're gonna go yell at that tree all day. That's how they train. So when they're yelling at you guys and they see here, you might just be the person standing in front of them and they're yelling, they don't see you, all they see is a tree. That's it. They don't know you, they couldn't tell your name. I've had drill sergeants say, like my daughter, she graduates, she has drill sergeant, she goes, hey, I appreciate everything. He goes, oh, who are you? They don't know your name, they don't remember you. They yell because that's their job is to yell. And usually when they get done at the end of the 10 weeks, they can't even talk anymore because they lose their voice.
For drill instructors, for us, is it's a very in-depth school of like how to yell, what's the purpose of it, how to do drill, how to actually train the recruits properly, and making sure, because the whole process of boot camp is to break you down in a good way, to take away that nasty civilian that you once were, to become that new transition of that Marine. And that's why you see the soft skills of Marines that stand and look a lot different compared to like other branches, how we set ourselves apart. It's a way to break you down, build you back up into a new individual. And it's not just for make you that robotic Marine that people think about. No, it's actually make you a better member of society. At the end of the day, it's to make you a better member of society, to actually transition into the real world and actually become more marketable. Because when people look at a resume and they see US whatever, they know that you actually have some sort of discipline, that you actually have some credibility. Oh, he served this amount of time in here? Cool, let's put him at the very top of the list to actually look through the resumes compared to anybody else. If you want to go into the trades right now, yeah, trades are open, but how are you going to set yourself apart from the other like 1,000 kids that are going to these community colleges that are getting their trades? How do you set yourself apart? Let's get some soft skills, let's get some leadership skills, let's get some management skills to actually implement into yourself that you can actually transition with the out of the Marine Corps and have in the civilian life. That's like the purpose of like boot camp, is to break you down, build you back up. Like I said before, I would not be the same if it wasn't for the Marines. I was a hothead in school, like to get in trouble, but now like here, wife, kid, whatever, good career. Like there's a lot of things that the Marine Corps has done for me that has set me apart from my peers back home. So like that's kind of like, I guess, a down and dirty of like how boot camp works.
They're breaking you of all your bad habits, building you back up as a leader. That's why at the end of the day, that's what they're teaching you. They're teaching you how to lead. All right. So they're teaching you how to lead, and that's the reason when you put a resume and you put U.S. military on there, they want to hire you over everybody else, because not only are you're certified in that job and you're trained at that job, you've been doing it every day, but guess what? You've been leading people for the last 4 years or 3 years, however long you decide you want to do that, right? So now you put that resume on there. Do I want to take this person that's fresh out of college, has no experience, never led somebody in his entire life? Or do I want to take this person that finished military, has the same certifications you have, but they've been doing it for 4 years, and you've been leading people? So I can hire you as a manager and put you in charge of people, paying you a lot more money versus a person fresh out of college.
Or for example, you could have somebody that's done 20 years, right? Doesn't have, because one of my master guns, he E9, got out of the Marine Corps, retired out. He went to a business and didn't have the certifications, whatever. He didn't need to, because guess what? He got to negotiate his $180,000 job because of the skills that he learned in the Marine Corps, and he just learned on the spot. Or they're like, oh, if you need a course, cool, we'll send you to it. Because they want those skills from the military. There's too many kids coming out of college, coming out of these trade schools that are still in that kind of like teenage mindset. They're not having those actual like adult skills. I was 22 years old, leading a 13-man squad on deployment, be in charge of $1 million, actually probably a couple $1 billion worth of equipment in total, and be able to advise a officer on how to do certain operations. What 22-year-old do you think can even like manage like a McDonald's at this point?
So I can tell you, my wife has a master's degree in psychology, okay? No experience, because she spent all her time raising kids and going to college. She can't find a job in the degree that she did all that time, paid all that money. I think I'm paying off for her, because she got student loans, $130,000 back. That's what I'm paying back for her. And she can't get a job in her degree, because she has no experience. So that experience goes a long way. You guys think, hey, I'm gonna just go get all this debt and I'm gonna get a freaking career paying me $100,000 and $150,000 a year? Without experience, there's a reason you guys heard of, who's heard of internships? So you guys know what the purpose of internships are, right? It's so you get experience in that field. So when they say, the problem is, you guys know an internship you're not getting paid, right? Some you do, but they pay you very, very little, right? But the whole point is so you can get experience, so that way when you complete that degree, you can go get a job. You're gonna start at the bottom because you have the least amount of experience out of anybody, but there's only one way to get somewhere, right? You gotta start somewhere. You don't just, nobody starts at the top. If you did, and you know that, and you have the secret sauce to that, please tell me, because I'm very curious, I wanna know. But, that's what my wife's biggest thing. So now she's taking jobs that she doesn't wanna do, just so she can get experience, so she can go do the job she wants to do. Does that make any sense? You had a question. Right here. Yeah, Paige,
You kind
sorry.
of mentioned something with Ferrum. Did you have your benefits with them?
We have an office in Ferrum College, right where the guidance counselors are. They asked us to be there, and the main reason, we're actually working out right now. They're getting ready to open up an ROTC at Ferrum. They have a subcontract with Virginia Tech, who is going to branch off and open up there so they can have a ROTC. But with the guidance counselors and the staff there, actually thanks to Ms. Stevens, that's how we got in contact with them. They have us there to give us an office because their problem was the guidance counselor has had a lot of kids that were dropping out of school because they couldn't afford the school. So they asked us to go there because we have the option for reserves. So they can do the reserves, go do the training, and then come back and they get free college. It's a way to allow it so we don't have kids dropping out just because you can't pay for it. Just don't drop out just because you can't pay for school. There's options out there. There's different things, whether it be military, loans. There is a way for you guys to get school. One way or another, somebody is going to pay for your school. You might have to pay that, depending on the choice you make. But you may have to pay, you will be able to go to school. But yeah, no, they have us there because of that main reason. Because they want us to help the kids so they can go to school.
What kind of commitments do you have to make? Like how much of your life do you give to the military, to be in the military?
So we have, well, the Army, I'll you can tell you about the Marines, but for the Army, we have the 2-year options. So but it's all dependent on the job that you choose. Some jobs, they require like a year of school. Like if you want to do like military intelligence, some kind of intelligence, cybersecurity.
Maintenance jobs.
Things like that. Some of the medical careers, they're a year long of school. So when you have a year long of school, the lowest amount of contract that you'd sign is about 5 years. And the reason being because they're investing hundreds of thousands of dollars into you as an individual for you to get that career and for you to be able to do that job. And all the certifications, everything that they're putting into you, that's the reason it's longer. Some jobs, they allow you to do 2-year options. So you can do 2 years in, you complete your 2 years, and then you get out. So really, after completing training, you're probably maybe going to do a year and a half of that, and you get out. But usually, if you're wanting like money, if you want bonuses and a lot of the other benefits that the Army has, it's usually about 3 years. I always tell everybody, if you get the option for 3 years, don't do an extra year for another $2,000 bonus, because if you decide you want to stay in, re-enlistment wise, you're going to get more money anyways. They're going to give you more money. So why do an extra year for maybe $1,000 or $2,000, and a year earlier you can sign a whole other contract if you love what you do, you get $50,000.
So you have to go through like boot camp no matter what you do in the military?
Yes.
Yeah, boot camp is, it don't matter which branch you go to, you have to go to boot camp. That's your initiation into the military, basically. After that, we teach you your job. So after that, it's your school, learning your job.
For
the
Marines, standard contract for enlistment is 4 years, and that's because like boot camp's long, and then we also have something called MCT, Marine Combat Training. That's where you learn more rifle tactics. Down and dirty, every Marine's a rifleman. That's why we don't have medics. That's why the Navy controls our medic field. That's why we don't have chaplains. Every Marine's a rifleman by trade. Now, if you go to like a support job, do you actually touch the rifle? Probably not, unless it's your annual qual. Like, I'll be honest about that. Like, so there's a lot of people that don't even touch rifles, or like if you go aviation, they rarely touch rifles. But it's 4 years. The reason for that is because of like the schooling, for all the training that you do, and then the last 3 years. But your first contract, honestly, is just getting a feel of what the Marine Corps is like and develop those skills. When I did my first 4 years, I was already done with almost, I did my training, I did deployment, and I was like, holy crap, I already have to re-enlist already. Like, it went by so quick. Like, when I tell some of my applicants, it's like, don't just think about just doing 4 years and getting out. Do 6. The reason I say that is like, when you do your 4, maybe re-enlist or extend, so you get a better feel like, because at that time you're just a junior Marine, maybe you pick up NCO, which is E4, you start getting some leadership roles, but you're still kind of figuring out who you are. Like, if I would have got out at 4 years, I would have been 21 years old. Like, that's super, super young. Like, I would have, I would have regretted it. That's why I stayed in and actually continued on, because it made more sense to just continue on with that, because you got more experience, you got more opportunities for it. The longer you're in, you're gonna get more opportunities, credit towards you, and credit towards like what you wanna do later on in the future. So, you do your 4 years, and then like figure out that, but I would say do a little bit more than 4 years. At least extend at least one time.
Get your degree, you do what's best for you.
Yeah.
You choose options best for you. I always tell everybody, you guys gotta remember, us, Marines, Army, we're just the middlemen. We're here to help you, guide you on what you wanna do. That's really what we're here for. You tell me what your goals are, what you wanna do, I'm just here to help you get there. I always say take the smallest amount of contract, because it gives you enough time to say, hey, do I like this or do I hate it? And that's really what it comes down to. You're either gonna love what you do or you're not.
But you also have to remember your chain of command changes when you move to another base, so you might actually love or like the next people that you don't now. Does that make sense?
I've had bosses where I hate a year later or something.
What do you have to do from like a medic, or to like enlist as a medic?
You gotta take the ASVAB first. Hey, you guys know what the ASVAB is, right?
Yeah.
17th of next week.
Is it the 17th? So, hey, anybody, did you guys sign up for the ASVAB? Who signed up for the ASVAB?
I'll give you extra credit.
Who didn't sign up for the ASVAB? Hey, I'm gonna give you guys a little hint and a little trick here, all right? Hey, you guys know the state test you guys gotta take? You guys wanna get out and take some of those, one of those,
SATs,
one of them.
ACTs, right? Is that what you're talking?
No. So there's another state test that the ASVAB is recognized as one of your state tests, but you have to pass the ASVAB with a 31 or higher. So if you want to get out one of your tests, I don't know which one it is. I know it's one of them. I don't remember which one. It was one of the counselors that told me. But if you take the ASVAB and you pass the ASVAB, you can get out of one of your state tests. And ASVAB gives you job placement. It tells you what you're good at.
Not SLL, it's not how SLL.
No, it's not the SLLs. It's one of the other state tests. My daughter, only way I know this because my daughter did that. She took the ASVAB, she passed the ASVAB, and she got out. She didn't have to take one of her state tests. So I just don't know which one it is. I couldn't tell you. You have to ask your counselors on that one. But hey, ASVAB's on the 17th. If you guys haven't signed up for it, I would highly suggest, if you want to see what you're good at, because it's really a job placement, it tells you what you're good at, go talk to your counselors, talk to Ms. Deems, sign up for it. You just take the ASVAB on the 17th. Next week.
Mr. Hilton has to sign up.
He had a question right there.
Yeah, what are your number ASVAB scores for joining the Army and then the Marines?
So they have, what, 9 or 10 different like slots for yours, and then we have 4 that we based off our jobs.
Are you talking about your line school?
Yeah, like basic, you know, like,
I can talk.
Oh, you're talking about to qualify?
yeah.
Oh, the 31. You have to get 31 to qualify. You have to pass the ASVAB with the 31. That's your overall score. And then you have your line scores that tell you where you're
Yeah,
at.
Can I talk about the ASVAB part?
Yeah.
So the first 4 sections of the ASVAB is literally just to get your main AFQT score. That's that passing score to actually join the military. All the other test sections in the ASVAB is for your actual jobs and stuff. So like there's like a mechanical portion, there's a science portion, there's a wood shop portion. There's actually a picture building, like where you have to like assemble objects. Those all go into play for your actual line scores itself. Like if you are good at electronics and you score really good on electronics portion, your line scores for your electronics is gonna be a lot higher. For males and females, our brains work differently. For like females, they score really well in word comprehension, paragraph comprehension. Guys, not so much, sorry. But for the opposite, guys score really high in the mechanical portion, electrical portion. Girls, not so much. That's just how our brains are wired differently. That's not for everybody, but that's what, like how the stats are actually broken down. So when you guys take it, you see all the different like sections. It's based off of percentage. It's not based off of what you actually got right or wrong. It's based off of the percentage of how well you did better. So let's say you score a 65 in mechanical. Cool, you are 65% better than the majority of your class or in that grade group, because it breaks it down by sex and it breaks it down by your total class itself, by males and females and then total class. So that's what, when you see the sheet and like how it's actually broken down. You have a question right there?
Is the ASVAB timed?
Yes, to an extent.
What is it?
Timed.
Oh, yeah.
So, what other questions we got?
Like, why did you choose the branch that you chose?
Ooh, I
Why
love
did
that
you-
one.
So for me, so when I was 18 and graduated high school, I actually joined the Marines. And then I broke my hand, had a baby on the way and everything, so I was like, hey, I can't go. That's the reason I didn't go for the Marines. 12 years later, I said, hey, I'm ready for a change, ready to do something different. You know, I'm just wasn't happy with what I was doing, so I went in, and I was actually gonna go talk to the Air Force, but they told me I was too old, so I went next door to the Army, and they said, we'll take you. I'm like, all right, cool. That was the main reason I went with the Army. I didn't know which branch I wanted to join at the time. That's just, hey, life. That's what happened. That's how I got in the Army. Good. I actually did join for them. I was a loss for them. I broke my hand, had a baby. That's what happened there. So.
For me, I have a couple main reasons. First off, my stepdad, who was very influential in my life, was a national and state champ wrestler. He was actually going to go for the Marines, beat their wrestlers, but he couldn't join because of his eyesight, so I wanted to prove to him that I could do it for him. On top of that, another reason is my recruiter, she was a 5'2" Hispanic lady, and I was like, if she can do it, I definitely can. As at that time, 190-pound lineman, I was like, I can definitely do this if she can do it. And then the other reason is, I didn't like how the other branches presented themselves at my school. compared to my recruiter, and she was very like upfront about her time. And mind you, this is back in 2014, where Afghanistan and Iraq were still open. And when I actually went to go talk to her, she didn't actually want me to go engineer route because it is a very dangerous field. She wanted me to go in aviation electronics. I scored high in electronics, but she was open about that job, and I was like, nah, I kind of want to do this. It sounds a lot more fun. She's like, okay, but just there is risk involved. So she was very open, and I liked the way that she presented herself compared to the other recruiters.
Hey, before Simmons tells you why he chose his branch, hey, I have a signing roster here. Do me a favor, just everybody go ahead and sign it, put your name, first, last name, your phone number, and then right here, I don't need no grade. I know everybody's a senior here. I don't need you guys to say, hey, I'm a 12th grade. I got it. I know you are. Where it says more info, just either circle yes if you want more information, or no if you don't. If you circle no, we're not going to call you. If you circle yes, we'll call you and give you more information, see what you want to do. All right? So I'm going to pass that around if everybody can do that for us. And then go ahead.
So I'm from Virginia Beach, it's a huge Navy town. Didn't want to go Marines because I've had a couple interactions with Marines, including one when I was underage where a Marine put me in a headlock. Yeah, so he attacked with mine. So I didn't want to go Marines, tried to go Navy, they said no. Had to join a branch, so Army was kind of last choice. Walked in, got all the benefits for the kid on the way, and my girlfriend is now my wife. So.
What else we got? Come over here. Somebody.
What's something?
She's like looking away like you didn't call me.
What's something you guys do like every day that most people wouldn't think that you do? Like just in the Army in general. Like what do you do that people like don't know?
People don't know?
Yeah. Something people wouldn't think you do.
I don't know. What do you think I don't do?
What's like a job that people would not expect? You guys
For the
do?
Army?
Yeah.
Nutrition specialist,
All right. Yeah, nutrition.
technology, like anything you think of.
You guys
probably
know-
the job for.
Hey, who wants to be a pilot? The Army has pilots. Who wants to drive boats? We actually have a boat.
You have one boat.
We got one boat. But hey, we got that one boat for one job, right? Nobody would think that we have boats being in the Army because we live on land. But we have boats. The Army actually has more. What's that?
No, I'm sorry.
The Army has more planes than the Air Force has. Surprising, but the Army actually has more planes and helicopters than the Air Force actually has. You gotta remember, the Air Force is the baby of the Army. So, divers, we have divers. We have dog handlers. I mean, what job do you think of? Yeah, I can tell you if we have it or don't.
Welders.
We have welders.
Wait, what was the question? What jobs?
What jobs?
Do you have anything with like media?
Media, we do.
Yeah,
We have AP&A, those are, they deal with media, social media, they deal with photography.
Do you have to go through training for that?
Yeah, they teach, they serve, you know, you go to, you know, you pay all that money for a photography school, you can get all that for free, in the Army, same exact class. So, give us a question.
How do you join the Space Force?
How do you go to Space Force? That's a very good question, I don't know.
I don't even think they exist in all honesty. I've
Hey,
never seen them.
they're a branch, they're new, nobody really knows what the Space Force really does, to be honest.
Are they still a branch? I thought
Yeah,
they
they're still a
fell
branch.
over Air Force again.
No, they're still a branch. The Air Force recruiters are the ones that recruit Space Force. But I'm gonna tell you, yeah, they're very, very, very selective on who they're gonna choose. Like, you have to be better than every single person out there if you want to get selected for the Space Force.
My aunt got called on it to do work with them.
Was your mom already military?
She was Army.
So if you're already military, they're taking everybody military first before they take people because they want people experience.
Is college like less time in military?
Is what?
Like, does college take like less time? Like, if you're going in for like.
So yeah, so if you complete basic training AIT, you get college. You guys get college credit. So when I started school, when I got my degree, I got a bachelor's degree in business, all right? And when I started school, I got 75 college credits just for everything I did in the military. So you need 120 credits for your bachelor's degree, right? I already had an associate's degree from just what I did in the military. So I only had to do school for 2 years to get a bachelor's degree, when normally you have to do 4 years. Because everything I did, they knock out half your classes. I just didn't have to do it. It's great. I love life. And then I got my degree, and I do what I do. So, you got it.
What advice would you give to the people that are trying to learn
That advice for what?
the people that are trying to learn
The advice for people that want to join the Army? Have a plan. You know, for me, if you come talk to me, I'm gonna show you the benefits. I'm gonna show you what's available. I'm gonna show you what options you have for you. I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna ask you, what do you want? What do you want to achieve? Because your career and what you're doing is not my career and what I'm doing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna advise you on how to get to where you want to get to. If you say, hey, I want to get into this job, I'm gonna do everything I can to try to find that job for you. I can't guarantee I'm gonna find the job, because you gotta remember, it doesn't matter if you're Army, Marines, or whatever branch, every single recruiter is looking at the exact same system in the entire United States. So when I'm looking at jobs and stuff, it's only based on what's available. So we can always change dates around and try to find a date that job might show up, and there's phone numbers I can call and try to get you the job. But I would say, you know, focus on like your fitness. Start exercising, because you know you are going to do a lot of fitness in there. If you didn't score as high as you want to score on the ASVAB, I'd say, you know, talk to one of us about studying. We have a program that we can provide to you. It's free to help you study and get a higher score. Everybody I've ever given this score to, except one, I guess, has improved their score by 20, 30 points. Does anybody remember Calvin Wright graduated last year? Calvin Wright graduated last year?
Yeah.
All right, you guys know Jack Sink?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll help both of them. I'm actually taking Jack up to MEPS next week on Monday. But Calvin Wright, I put him in. He didn't score high enough. We had a special program. You can score between 21 and 30, and you can join. You're just going to go through a training course for the ASVAB. That's what Calvin did. He went to that for 3 weeks, and he improved his score by 40 points. And now he got to choose the job he wants to do. It was an extra 3 weeks of school, but he got paid to go to school to learn how to pass the ASVAB. And he improved his score by 40 points. So, I would say, you know what you want. Look into the things what you want, because honestly, there ain't nothing I can tell you guys right now that you can't open up your computer and look online. Because if somebody, you know, if you guys believe everything a recruiter tells you, if they just lie to you, you let them lie to you, because you can verify everything online. I got two. You're next.
So like, I wanted to like further my like career, you could say, in welding.
Okay.
And so if I were to go like either Marine or Army or whatever branch, like it doesn't matter to me. Like if I were to go, y'all like offer welding.
Yes.
And if I do, like if I were to go, like let's say I go and I like do welding and I'm like doing that for the Army or Marines, and then like a war or something or like a big thing were to break out, like what is my job still to be a welder?
Your job would be your welder.
Yes.
So here's the thing about welder, right? We have jobs that are specifically for welding. But you also have jobs that give you the welding degree, but also give you a lot of other certifications on top of that, like mechanics and stuff like that. So instead of just being certified just welding, you can also be certified in mechanics. So you can have more certifications that is going to give you more options. And I would recommend that because, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, NCDL, anything that you would probably weld on or with, you could probably get
Like,
the direct.
for example, one of the other recruiters in, like I'm the recruiter for Franklin County, but he's out of Roanoke. He's a aviation mechanic, and he did welding before the Marine Corps a little bit, but when he went in, he got a weld on aircraft. He was like, hey, I'm a welder in TIG, MIG, whatever.
Yeah.
He got to work on airframe, which is completely different. That's like aluminum, and that's like that harder stuff that's a weld. So he actually got to go to a specialized course for that. Now he's a welder and an aviation mechanic for that.